out here harvesting broccoli. It's going to seed, as you can see, which means it's flowering. So I'm going to go ahead and pick even the small heads because this is going to flower very fast. This bed here has pretty much gone all the way to seed. And this broccoli is all stunted from that Arctic blast. That's why the plants are very small. See, honeybee. They absolutely love these flowers. So I'm going to pick what I can and leave them quite a few flowers out here. So we'll still have plenty of broccoli for ourselves too. That's a lot of broccoli, and I still have like 4 or 5 bags that are vacuum sealed in the freezer. So now let's move on to our next task for the day. Alright, so my next task is my greenhouse. As you can see, my tomatoes are popping, and there's more than one that's growing right beside the other. And I don't want to waste my tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is carefully go in here and separate these and pot them up into their own pots. I'm going to use a little stick here, split these up very gently so I don't break any roots. See? And now we got our little tomato, and we're just going to pop into his own little pot. And we can plant these deep because tomatoes just root on their stems. So we can plant them very, very deep and not have to worry about it. A lot of seedlings, you don't want to do that because they will just end up rotting, but tomatoes, they won't. They love to be planted deep. The deeper they go, the more roots and stronger they are. And this is a bunch of sunflower seeds that I have sprouting here that I'm going to be planting in the garden very soon. Just making sure we don't have another frost before I start planting out my hot weather loving crops. So now we got another little baby tomato ready to go. And I want one per pot because I want to give them plenty of room to grow and to root and have very strong plants in these pots. So I'm making a little hole in this pot and planting it very deep. Because even though this is a bright greenhouse, they're getting a little bit leggy on me. For sure, make sure we water these in when we're done. That one only has 1. This one only has 1. This one has 2. So we'll split it. Make our little hole. And pop one. This one's kind of center, so I'm going to pop this one that's off center. They already have nice little root systems on them. And the ones that we do disturb, we'll make sure that we pack it back down around the dirt or wrap around it because we don't want to loosen it up and disturb it too much. So we'll make sure it's packed up. And we even push some dirt back around its stem there so it can be strong too. And look, it's actually getting its true leaves already. True leaves are the second set of leaves. These are just the baby leaves that help it get it going when it first pops out. But this one has its true leaves, so I'm not going to mess with it because it's doing its own little thing. But this one right here we may pop out later once it gets a seed cap off of it. Alright, so now we got this one. 4 of them in one pot. This one still has a seed head on it, so I'm probably going to pull this one and pull those 2 there, and we'll put them in on there's one pot. But what I've been doing is I've been taking my pots and going out into the garden and just taking dirt right from my garden beds. Once again, I'm not using fancy pot and soil or anything like that for these. So I'm going to take these 2 here that are growing right beside each other, loosening them up, pop them out. And then we'll pop it into its own pot. Pack that one in there good. Right in the center of the pot with its soil deep around it. And now we got to go fill some more pots. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I'm just taking my little terracottas here. You do not have to have terracottas. You can have old nursery pots here. You can have plastic containers. You can even have plastic cups from the store to do this in. I'm just very fortunate to have these pots here that my husband have gotten from all over. And we bought a lot of these, and we have been gifted some of these. So we're very fortunate to have these nice terracottas. But now let's go and get some dirt from our garden. So what I've been doing, this bed was full of beautiful butter crunch lettuce and red romaine, and then that Arctic blast came through. That darn Arctic blast. It killed pretty much everything in my garden, except for the greens. But it stunted them for sure. Anyway, this bed was full of beautiful lettuce, but now it's not. So I'm just gonna take some dirt from this bed, because we do plan on going to getting some more dirt, and we'll just top this bed off. Yeah, throw my pots up here, and now we're gonna go transplant some more seedlings. All right, so we have more dirt ready to go. Let's get this little fella into the ground. Let's see, all these are done except for these. This still have seed cap on. I'm not gonna mess with it. Let's see, we have 2 right here. Look at this, nice roots. I'm so impressed already with these roots. We're going to be planting them deep because we want to keep those roots nice and strong. Alright, so we have all of our tomatoes potted up. So there are quite a few of them. I'm very excited about all these. And now we're just going to water them all in. And I'm not very worried about these not being done earlier. I wish I would have gotten these seeded in January. But I have such a long growing season here in southeast Georgia. And these, as they dry off, these little sprouts will shoot back up. There's no need to be super careful with them. But I do want to give you an update on my peppers. My peppers are starting to germinate, except for the Anaheims. The Anaheims are not doing anything. I think I just had old seed. But our cayennes are starting to germinate. As you can see, our little pepper seedlings. And there's another one shooting up right there. I'll be splitting these up too as they pop up, because I did put quite a few in there. I think I put 3 per pot, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe just 2. But I see a little bit of yellowing on that seedling, so I'm not going to water them today. Peppers like a nice, dry, hot environment. That's how you get those really hot, spicy peppers. But that is it for today. I potted up tomatoes, and I harvested broccoli. I'm watering my carrot seedlings. I had to hook up that sprinkler because I haven't been using a sprinkler all winter long. We've been getting so much rain this winter. And that's about it. So thank you for joining me at Danielle's Backyard. Stay tuned for more growing of so much food this summer.